Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's auction deep dive. My name is Kate Cogswell, and I am the success team lead here at Givebutter. So excited to talk to you about our brand new auctions feature today. So welcome, everyone. Please go ahead and drop in the chat what your name is, what organization you're representing, and where you are calling in from. We would love to welcome you. And make sure that you are setting your chat to everybody so everybody else can see it. Hi, Keith, welcome. Give everybody a little bit of time to join here. Hi, Robin. Hi, Janet and Jess. Wonderful to see Carl here. Awesome. Love the mix of old and new names. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Joanna. We'll give everybody a little bit of time. Hi, Katie. Hi, Louise Annette. Kia, Clay, Stephanie, welcome, welcome. Oh, it's so exciting to see all of these awesome organizations joining us today. We had over 280 people signed up to view this webinar, so excited to welcome everybody. Again, please feel free to drop your name and the organization that you are representing, as well as where you are calling in from in the chat. We'd love to get to know who is with us today. Also, if you want to keep the conversation going, Stephen is going to be dropping a link to the Givebutter fam on Facebook, and you can keep the conversation going with other change makers like you there as well. Michelle, I see your question about whether or not we will be sharing this recording. Yes, absolutely, we will. The recording and the slides will be sent out to everyone tomorrow, so you will absolutely be getting those. Hi, Colleen. Wonderful. So great to see everybody. Little agenda for the day. By way of welcome, again, my name is Kate Cogswell. I am the success team lead here at Givebutter. Joining me on the call today is Stephen Ko. He is one of our customer success managers, and he will be managing our chat as well as the Q&A today. After we invite everybody and everybody says hi, we will be jumping in to the deep dive, really focusing in on the auction platform today, giving you an in-depth look on what that looks like from both the admin side as well as from a bidder's angle. And then we'll be talking about some auctions best practices and how you can really maximize this new feature that we offer. There will be a live Q&A at the end of the call, and please stay until the end because we do have some sneak peeks planned for you as well. Again, just a reminder, we will be sending the slides and the recording tomorrow. Few notes of housekeeping. Please use the Q&A to ask any questions. That's going to make sure that those questions don't get lost in the chat. We really want to make sure that all of your questions are answered today. That said, please feel free to comment and use emojis throughout. We love your engagement. And please, of course, keep the chat respectful and kind. Before sending a message in the chat, make sure to click that little down bar and select to send to everybody rather than just hosts and panelists so everyone can see your engagement today. And again, recording and slides will be sent your way. All right, so let's jump into it. Welcome again. Welcome to Givebutter. It is time to meet your end-to-end fundraising solution. We bring together everything you need to successfully raise funds, track your progress, and engage with your supporters completely for free. So excited to welcome you all today. We are the #1 fundraising program on G2, known especially for our ease of use, the quality of our award-winning support team, and the ease of setup as well. I'm sure you guys will see just how easy it is to set up this new auction functionality as we go through it. So I'm jumping out of this slide deck, And from here, we are going to talk about our 3 products within Givebutter. So this is an example of a Givebutter dashboard. You can see Raise here. This is where you're going to create your fundraising campaigns. Track, that's where you'll track your transactions and your donor contacts. And then Engage, and that's our internal suite of marketing tools. So we're going to be focused primarily on Raise today. Creating a new campaign with an auction is as easy as 2 clicks. You're going to hit that New Campaign button and then select which type of campaign you'd like to start. Forms are our simplest solution for receiving donations. That's going to be a really simple, clean donation flow that can be embedded right on your website using Givebutter Elements. So lovely for something like your general donations campaign. Pages are going to be a little bit more robust, more graphic heavy, and events, of course, bring in that ticketing. Now, auctions, which we're really going to focus today, is available on pages and event campaign types. So that's where we're going to spend the majority of our time. So coming over here, this is an example of a page. We still have that beautiful, simple donation flow. You can have fund selection, accept recurring gifts, one-time, monthly, quarterly, or annual. Customize these suggested donation amounts and their contextualization. And every donor will be able to give using Venmo, PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Microsoft Pay, all major credit and debit cards, and also ACH for verified nonprofit accounts. We allow you to offer all of those payment methods without having to connect those separate accounts. We manage all of that for you and will pay out directly to your bank account. Taking a look at the design of the page, you of course can customize this cover photo or video, have your logo up there at the top. You can choose to raise towards a goal or not. We have really wonderful and robust peer-to-peer fundraising functionality. Story section where you can add as many pictures, videos, graphics, and text as you like. And every Givebutter page is automatically optimized for mobile viewing. So this is going to look just as great on somebody's cell phone as it would on their desktop device. As your donors give, they can leave these sweet messages of support, and that can be a drawing, a GIF, an image, or just a message. Makes it really fun and social to give. And of course, your donors can choose whether or not they'd like to be anonymous in that space. No one is ever required to show their name or the amount that they're giving. And of course, we are always going to share your donor details with you on the back end. So folks can choose to be anonymous publicly, but we'll always make sure that you have your donor information. We also have this really excellent campaign update feature with a great Canva and YouTube integration for creating those updates to your supporters. And with a connection with our Engage program, you can also send those campaign updates out to your campaign supporters also. So the final campaign type that I'll hit on before we dive into auctions specifically is the events. And this looks very similar to a page. It has all of that same functionality of optional peer-to-peer, the story section, etc. But of course, the big differentiator for events is the option to offer tickets. And those can be free or paid tickets, as many as you would like, in addition to that option to leave a donation if somebody can't attend. And those tickets can be for an in-person event, in which case on the automated receipt email, we'll include a PDF ticket with a QR code for scanning, so you can check folks in right from your Givebutter dashboard. That could also be a virtual ticket. And so in that case, you would include a link to wherever your live stream is being hosted, and that would be also included on that automated receipt email. And that live stream can be hosted right here on Givebutter. At an appointed time, we can switch this cover photo over to your live stream, so donors can be watching and making their gifts in real time. We do also support hybrid events. So if you do have a combination of in-person and virtual options for your supporters, you can offer both types of tickets on the same campaign. So that is just a very high, quick 5-minute overview of what pages and events are. Now let's hop into auctions. So again, auctions can be added on to any page or event campaign. And I'm going to come back over to our Givebutter dashboard here so you can see what that looks like. So we're going to be playing around in this dashboard. This is what it looks like when you are editing your campaign. And our users will notice a new feature here on this toolbar for the auction. So to add an auction to a page or an event, you'll simply come over to this auction tab and click Start Auction, and it will open up for you a whole new world of features. Of course, first things first, you're going to set the date and time for that auction. Just a reminder that the date and time can be separate from your campaign start date. So maybe you want to start accepting donations, or you want to start selling tickets for your event prior to the time when the auction is actually going to open for bidding. You can totally do that. And this will be based on your account settings for the time zone. Here, you'll select how you want to collect payment. We offer a few different options here. Everybody who is an existing user knows that Givebutter loves to offer those options. So first of all, you can request payment when an item is won, or you can request payment when an auction closes. If all of your items are closing at the same time, then these two options are really the same thing. But if you do have different items in your auction closing at different times, this would decide whether or not somebody would get basically an invoice for each item as it closes, or if they would just get one at the end of the auction. We also give you the option to auto charge the stored payment methods for your bidders. This makes collecting those payments for those items so seamless and easy, and ensures that all items are paid for at the end of your auction. We also give you an option for whether or not you'd like to require a shipping address from your donors. Maybe you are hosting an in-person auction and you will be handing out these prizes at the end of the night. But if you do have a virtual element going on here, you'll want to make sure to collect that shipping address. And of course, you will definitely want to have those customs terms and conditions for your auction listed here. And in the slide deck that we will be sharing out with you guys tomorrow, I do have a link to a really great Givebutter blog post that has a template for those terms and conditions and what kinds of things you might want to include in that section. In the notifications, you can set your auction start, end, and outstanding invoice reminders. When the auction start and end emails are turned on, your bidders who are registered on that event will automatically get a notification saying the auction is about to open, the auction is about to close. And then for the outstanding invoices, if you choose not to have your bidders auto pay for their winning items, you can have us send them a reminder about that outstanding invoice. And you can set how frequently you'd like to remind them. Personally, I recommend no more than that 2-day option. Once somebody has won that item, we really want to make sure that they fulfill their end of the bargain and that they pay for that item quickly. In the Items tab is where you will actually create that new item. So if you hit that new item button, it'll open up this editor, and you can drag and drop or upload up to 5 images to really show off the item that you're selling, give that description as well. And we offer a variety of different selling formats. So you can have auction style purely, that means no buy it now price. You can have fixed price, in which case it is only a buy it now item. There is no auction going on for that. Or you can set a buy now price for an auction style item. What that looks like is your bidders are able to, bid based on that starting price and the reserve that you've set. But if somebody would like to snap that up for perhaps a higher cost than they would have if the auction had gone on, they can do that as well. And in the best practices, we'll talk a little bit more about how that can be used really effectively. You'll notice here, you can set that starting price, the buy now price, the reserve price. Reserve means that that is the absolute minimum that that auction can be won for. The actual fair market item value. This is very important if you are a nonprofit and you want folks to be able to claim tax deductibility. As a reminder, people who win items on a charity auction will only be able to claim as deductible the amount over the fair market value that they pay for your item. And then, of course, you can set your bid increments here. That can make it more exciting rather than having people be able to bid, $1 at a time, setting that to be a little bit more competitive and ultimately raise more for your cause. You can choose whether or not a particular item requires shipping or not, and also set the shipping costs there. And you can set a custom bidding date and time if you would like for this particular item to start or end sooner or later than your whole auction start and end dates. In visibility, you can set items to public or private. Private items will only be accessible via a shareable link. Maybe you have a few really big sponsorships that you're selling and you have specific items that are only available to that tier of participant. You can send out those shareable links to them. That's one great way to use private. And then down here, very important are your fulfillment details. So adding any information necessary for the winning bidder to collect their item to know how ultimately they can acquire that from you. In the items tab, you'll see all the names of your items listed out here along with their status, how many bids they've received, and what the current price is. You can convert these items to draft if you'd prefer that they're not public yet. You can go straight to that item, edit it, or delete it as well. In the bidders tab, we're gonna stay here. In the bidders tab, you can see the name of all of the bidders. You can see Jesse registered twice here, and you can see their bidder ID, the date that they registered, their status. You can also choose to make them anonymous if somebody reaches out and missed that option during the bidder registration, or you can ban a bidder. If you notice that someone is a bad actor and you prefer them not to be participating in your auction, you can ban them as well. Once an item has closed, somebody has won that item, you will see it show up in the winning bids area. And you'll be able to click through to see who won that item, view the transaction in your Givebutter dashboard, check out their contact information, see what it's sold for. And you can also resend that invoice, mark it as uncollectible for whatever reason, or automatically and manually charge that bidder. In the item fulfillment area, you'll see all of the items that have already been paid for, and you'll be able to mark off whether or not that item was fulfilled, whether or not they actually collected the item that they won. So this was how to set up the auction. Let's take a look at what this looks like from the bidder side. So to arrive at your auction, they will go from your campaign page to the auction tab and click this nice blue register to bid button. Now, I already have a Givebutter profile, obviously. If I did not, I would be prompted to give my name and my email address and phone number. And then I have an option to upload that payment method. That's going to be credit cards or debit cards for auctions specifically. We can't currently offer those additional payment methods because they don't allow that auto charging. Donors will give their name, their optional company, their shipping address, if that was a setting that you turned on. And then they can choose whether or not they'd like to cover the processing fees on your behalf so that their full amount goes to your organization. They can also choose to appear anonymous when they're bidding and also agree to the terms and conditions of your auction. Once somebody has registered, they will be able to save items, view their bids, and adjust their settings. So you can see just how beautiful this looks. And as I click through, you can see the full record of this item, swipe through any pictures, see that description there. This one particularly is a buy now. But I could also choose to bid. So coming over here to this 5 pounds of coffee, I want to place a bid and hopefully beat Holly. The current bid is at 50, minimum bid is at 51. It's because that bid increment is set at $1. And I'm going to set a maximum bid of $60. And I am sure. So you can see here, my $60. Uh-oh, I bid 60 and Holly automatically outbid me. So her maximum bid must have been set higher than what she had been at previously. So if I want to, be competitive, I'm going to place another bid to go up from what I had bid previously. I could also choose to select the buy now option if I prefer to do that as well. This particular auction has a low buy now price. We'll get into this in best practices, but generally speaking, we do not want the buy now price to be the same as the retail value. We're going to want that to definitely be higher, and we'll get into that in a little bit. On the auction page, your bidders will be able to search for a particular item, filter or sort those as well. And in the saved section, they'll be able to see any of the items that they have hearted. They can also head over to their bids to see what their current bid is and adjust their settings as well. Once you have bidders registered for your auction or winners, I'm gonna come back over to our Givebutter dashboard here. All of your bidders, donors, ticket purchasers, and winners will automatically have contact records created for them here in the track section of your Givebutter dashboard. Show you what that looks like. So here on Holly's timeline, you can see a history of her engagement with your organization on Givebutter, all of her contributions, recurring donations, contact info is stored there. You can add as many personalized tags as you'd like to really be able to filter and sort your donors. And you can also add any notes, emails, phone calls on that timeline as well. In the Transactions tab, you'll be able to see a history of all transactions on your Givebutter platform. And here in campaigns, you can filter down to one particular campaign if you'd like to do that as well. So I just want to see the Food for All benefit auction and see those and click through any transaction for more details. In recurring plans, of course, you can manage those recurring gifts that folks give on your campaign. And in the Tickets tab, you can manage all of your ticket purchases. And I really want to highlight that scan tickets functionality. If you are hosting an in-person event, people will be able to either pull up on their phone or have printed off that PDF ticket with the QR code. And you can pull this up right on your cell phone to use your cell phone camera to scan them in and mark that they actually attended your event. For every Givebutter campaign, you will be able to share that campaign page out using both text to donate and scan to donate as well. Text to donate, I really love for an in-person ask. If you are talking to somebody about your upcoming campaign, your upcoming auction, and you want to bring them to that campaign page, all you need to do is set a keyword for them to text to our short code, and that will bring them on their cell phone right to that page. Scan to donate is really wonderful for the purpose of like printed materials. I love the QR code on something like a table tent at your event. You can also put it up on a screen. And again, people can just use their cell phone camera to go over that QR code and get right to your campaign page. If you would like to send out information about your upcoming campaign or auction, you can also use our Engage functionality. We offer you unlimited email and text blasts, and you can view all of the opened, bounced, and unsubscribed rates for those emails and text messages, track the revenue generated if you are including a Givebutter link there. Emails will be sent from your own email domain, so whatever your .org is, and those text messages will be sent out from a phone number of your choosing. I definitely recommend you grabbing one that has your area code in it. To send out messages to Engage, you will want to have imported your contacts here in Track, and unlike some other platforms, Givebutter allows you to import as many contacts as you like, absolutely no limits there. Another use for Engage that I really want to highlight, since we are focusing in on auctions today, is the ability to drum up excitement for your upcoming auction. Maybe you are sending a blast out to your supporters, letting them know that you have a campaign coming up soon, and you want to drum up excitement for that event by sending them an email a week, really featuring the auction items that are coming leading up to that launch date. It can really be a great way to get folks excited for that campaign. So we've talked about your campaigns and your auctions, how you're going to track those donors and how you'll engage with them. Let's get into how you will actually pay out your funds. So here in the Payouts tab, you will connect your bank account. And when you click Connect, you'll be prompted to create a Givebutter specific Stripe account. This is not a Stripe account you would use for any other purpose. This is only for the purpose of paying out from Givebutter into your bank account. And once you've done that, you'll see all of your campaigns broken out here separately. And you can click through to see your total raised online, any fees not covered by your supporters, your pending, paid out, and available balances. All transactions remain pending for 48 to 72 hours to make sure there's no chargebacks, refund requests, or fraud. And then as soon as they're available, they'll show up in this little green bubble, and you can withdraw whenever you are ready. In the Payout History tab, you'll be able to see the history of all of your payouts on the platform, and also export a transaction details report for each of those payouts as well, which I am sure your accountant is really going to appreciate. So this is how you pay out your funds. We've talked about how you can have unlimited campaigns on the Givebutter platform, unlimited contacts, unlimited messages through Engage. What does this all cost? Givebutter is free. This is my favorite thing to talk about because we are entirely supported by optional tips. Whether or not somebody chooses to leave us a tip does not impact the fees that you or they pay in any way. As long as the option to tip us is on, there will be no platform fees. And so the only fee presented to your donors would be that processing fee. That goes to the credit card companies, Stripe or PayPal, and that's 2.9% plus 30 cents. On Givebutter, we give you a choice for how you'd like that presented to your donors. As a default, they have the choice to cover that fee for you. You could also choose to require them to cover the fee or hide it from them entirely if you would prefer to absorb that as an organization. when donors have the choice to cover that fee, we do find that 95% of donors do want to do that for you. They're already in a giving spirit and they want to make that additional gift on your behalf. If you don't like the idea of the optional tip, you know your donor base best. And so we also give you an option to turn off the optional tip in favor of small fixed rate platform fees in addition to that processing fee. That varies from 1%, 3% to 5%, depending on the campaign type that you're running. And when those platform fees are enabled, that gets rolled together with the processing fees. So again, the donors can choose to cover it for you, or you can require them to cover it, or you can hide it from them entirely, depending on what you prefer. How this pertains to auctions is as long as you are sending out payment requests or invoices for auction winners, it'll be all of the same settings that the rest of your campaign has. So your auction would inherit the pricing of your standard campaign page. If you are manually charging a bidder, or if you have it set to automatically charge bidders at the end of the auction or once they win an item, then that 5% auction platform fee would apply since they won't have the option to leave us a tip. And again, that gets rolled together with the processing fees. So you can give donors the choice to cover that for you, require it, or hide it as you prefer. So if this is sounding pretty good, you can always sign up here. And if you have any additional questions, don't worry, we're not done yet, but I do want you to know if you have any questions, you can always reach out to our award-winning support team, email, chat, or phone support. Our team is available 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and really excited to help you. So that was the kind of overview of the auction platform from the Givebutter specific side. But let's take a look at some of the types of auctions and auctions best practices. I'm going to share this again. So let's get into the types of auctions that you can run on Givebutter. Givebutter's auction platform is primarily a silent auction platform. You do have those buy now options as well if you'd prefer to just sell items. But let's talk about some of the ways that you can use this. The first is the obvious fully in-person auction. This gives you the opportunity to really engage supporters in real time. You get that face-to-face contact. You can make that additional ask for donations. And when you use Givebutter for your bidding and for your payments, every Givebutter page is automatically optimized for that mobile viewing. Your donors will be able to bring up your auction right on their phone and bid on the items that they're interested in. No app needed. And when you have that auto charging turned on, you can also make sure that all items are paid for at the end of the night with Givebutter. No dealing with chasing people down for their payments. You could also host a hybrid auction. That would be something like an in-person event with the addition of bidders joining virtually as well. This has the added benefit of reaching a broader audience beyond just those who can attend in person. And this can be paired with a hybrid event where you're also hosting a live stream or not. Maybe the event itself is for people in person, but just the auction is available to virtual attendees. You can also choose to host that auction completely virtually. So this is a great way to spend less and raise more. We know that running that in-person event can be so expensive, between paying for the venue to the entertainers. And so the fully online auction can be paired with Givebutter's live stream functionality to give that live ask or gala feel without the price tag of that in-person event. And the final auction type that you could consider is an extended auction. This is kind of the drip campaign of auctions, and you would use those custom start and end dates to add new items over time. We do not limit the length of time that an auction can be running on Givebutter. So an idea would be to maybe have a fresh batch of items dropping every week. So donors can go in there and bid on something new week after week. As we head into fall fundraising season and end of year giving, I really feel like that's a great opportunity if you are maybe doing a big auction on Giving Tuesday. You can start that drip campaign ahead of Giving Tuesday and have the bulk of your items on that day. Or the reverse. Maybe you are starting an auction campaign on Giving Tuesday that goes through the end of the year. So keeps up the excitement for longer and can be used as part of that longer giving strategy. So let's talk a little bit about the items that you are going to offer. First things first, I so recommend engaging a committee. You can't do this alone. You really need to have those people behind you that are going to help you find the items that you're going to be offering for the auction. And leverage your network. What connections do people have? What asks can they make for items that you can be auctioning off? On Givebutter, of course, you can offer digital item where you can offer physical items. You can also offer digital items, digital downloads. And we have a great Help Center guide linked down here, so you can check that out more once I send you out these slides, as well as a really wonderful blog post that gives you some fantastic item and gift basket ideas. We do know that people really love experiences. And so maybe you want to offer rounds of golf or spa packages. But most importantly, what can you offer that is priceless? A dinner with your executive director, perhaps, or a meet and greet with your program staff. Maybe you could offer tickets to your event next year and get those people coming back again, or recognition for a business in your marketing materials. Maybe that's a homemade gift, depending on what your cause is. So think outside of the box. Think about what's something that your organization can offer that maybe doesn't cost you anything, but is something that folks could not be getting anywhere else. And don't be afraid to ask. Local businesses love to help out. It's great publicity for them. Using the item description on the Givebutter item page, you can also highlight them with their logo and shout them out for donating any items. I know we all know about giving days. I'd also love for you to consider a giving day this year. You can meet up in the morning for coffee and donuts with your volunteers and send them out in pairs on a mission to certain businesses to make some asks for items or to get as many items as they can in a set time period. That way you can get together at the end of the day, congratulate each other, have that really great bonding experience, and get those items for your cause as well. Definitely recommend starting early if you are planning an auction. And as you ask those local businesses, do make sure that when they give you gift certificates, you're asking for that expiration date to be well after the date of your event. That way something hasn't expired by the time you want somebody to be bidding on it. A little birdie told me that we do have a new blog post coming soon that will have a sample letter for soliciting items from local businesses. So definitely keep your eye on the Givebutter blog for that as well. And then finally, less is more. It's better to have fewer quality items than lots of items of dubious quality. You don't want to be in a position where nobody is bidding on the things that you have created. So definitely think outside of the box, have those types of items that people love. Check out the blog for some ideas there. But don't be afraid to have a few items rather than many, many. All right, so let's talk a little bit about maximizing return. First things first, we want a mixture of price points. We know that your donors are going to be from a variety of backgrounds. And so it's best practice to have a little bit of something for everyone. That said, you know your donor base best. If you're running something like a very high-end gala where a single ticket to participate is multiple hundreds of dollars, maybe you're going to really have that auction be slated as more exclusive and have those higher value items exclusively. If this is more of a community engagement initiative and you want to be able to have more people participate, maybe you have a wider selection of lower cost items. Lots of opportunities there to have all different types. Lower value gift cards or filler items can be a nice complement to higher value prizes, but definitely know when something should stand alone and be the star of the show. Since we are specifically talking about, bidding on the Givebutter platform today, best practice is take great pictures. Set up a simple backdrop, take pictures in natural light if possible. Make sure that you're really showing that item off. This is especially important if you are not hosting an in-person event, and so people can't see items in person. You want to make sure that those item pictures that you're putting on Givebutter are really beautiful and will solicit the highest bid possible. So, setting the right price. What are we going to do about this? We know that donors are here to support your cause. They're not looking for a deal, they're here to support you. And so we do recommend starting the price for bidding at 40% of the fair market value of the item. I also recommend setting your bid increments at 10% of the fair market value. So for example, if you have an item that is worth $500, you're going to want to start the bidding at $200 and have bid increments of $50. Again, we want people to come in with the mindset of really supporting your cause, not looking for a deal. If you are selecting a buy now price and you're giving somebody the option for that, we are going to want to set that buy now price at 150 to 200% of the fair market value of that item. You saw earlier that there was an item on one of our sample auctions that had the buy now price at the same price as the fair market value. And in that situation, somebody's going to snap that up for what they could buy it for in the grocery store, and then the auction's over. We really want that buy now price to kind of be a leap beyond what they might have won it for in the auction, and something that somebody only does if they really want to snap that up. So again, for that $500 example, that would mean setting the buy now price, somewhere between $750 and $1,000. As a reminder, donors can claim the amount that they pay above the fair market value as a charitable donation. So if somebody purchases an item for $1,000 and it's worth $500, that extra $500 is something that they can claim as a contribution to your organization. I also do not recommend adding that buy now option for your most exclusive items. We don't want to kill excitement for these items if they get snapped up early. So if you know which items are going to be like the headliners for your organization, don't give buy now prices for those. Let those creep up and be part of the excitement of the day. Once your auction is over, let's talk a little bit about collecting payment. Nothing is worse than hosting that auction, doing all of the work of listing your items, and then not having the winner actually pay or pick up their item. So Givebutter makes this easier than ever. Again, you can choose to automatically charge winners. It's absolutely the easiest way to make sure that you are collecting those funds. Or you can have a payment request sent. And again, we'll remind people at that frequency that you've decided. Ideally, they're all going to respond to that payment request immediately and check out with that payment method that they saved when they registered. But if not, we'll send them that reminder as well. And again, you can choose to charge winners at the end of the whole auction or after they win each item if you do have items closing at different times. For item fulfillment, you're going to want to mark items fulfilled once they have been delivered, shipped, or picked up by the winner. That way you can keep track of what you still need to send out. If you are shipping items, please make sure to do that in a timely manner. We want to be respectful to our winners since you've already collected their funds. And always make sure that you're setting those fulfillment details. That way, as soon as somebody has won an item, as soon as they paid for it, in that receipt, they'll have that information about how to get the item from you. Finally, this goes without saying, but thank everyone. That means your bidders who didn't win anything, your sponsors, of course, the participants, and also especially your volunteers and the committee that helped you put this together. We want to make sure that they have a good experience and really see the impact of what they've done for your organization. Again, I really love using Givebutter's Engage functionality to send out that thank you to all of your supporters. You can also use a campaign update if you'd like to post that publicly on your page as well. So lots of opportunities there to thank everybody through Givebutter. And that one-on-one thank you also goes a long way. Couple final things before we jump into the Q&A portion. I see that filling up, which is wonderful. Coming soon. So we talked about a lot of what Givebutter has to offer, and there is more. So coming this fall, we are going to be offering printable QR codes for items. That'll be a QR code exclusive to each item that you can print off and put on a table in front of every basket at your event. And that way folks can go over that with their phone to immediately be brought to the exact item that they're looking at to bid on that as well. Right now, they can still go to your auction page and just search that auction name or number. You saw in the dashboard, we're currently sending out those email notifications. SMS notifications are coming very soon. The ability for donors to be notified as soon as they are outbid or they win. Very exciting there. You'll also be able to feature items at the top of that auction, as well as export your items and bidders in CSV files as well. So lots more to come from Givebutter Auctions. Again, you can click this link to be sent to a Help Center guide with all of our upcoming auction features. So don't hesitate to check that out. And there's also a link there to our product roadmap. If you'd like to upvote any specific features that you'd really like to see come sooner rather than later, you'll be notified as soon as they're available. All right. So I would love to jump into the Q&A. I am going to stop my share for a moment here and take a look at all of your wonderful questions. Okay, let's see. Awesome. Stephen has been doing some work in there. We've got 23 already answered. So if you have typed a question in there, Stephen might have already answered you. And we've got 26 open, so I'll try to work through these as well. Let's see. Allie says, what does it look like to set the time for accepting donations ahead of the auction event? That's a great question, Allie. So on Givebutter, when you create that campaign, you can set a start time for the campaign itself. That's when you can start accepting donations. The auction start time is separate from that, and so you'll be able to start bidding on items at the auction start date, which is separate from the campaign start date. I hope that answers your question. Melissa is wondering, if you don't auto-charge winners, do they have the option to pay with all methods? Unfortunately, not right now. That is something that we would love to add in the future. As of now, they will need to put in their credit or debit card number as part of their bidder sign up or bidder registration. And so that will need to be credit or debit. But great question there. Okay. Somebody is wondering, how might this work with a live donation appeal? If there's a way to stream donation activity in real time and project on a screen. Yes, so you can always see your donation activity in real time on your campaign page. That gold bar is going to go up in real time as people give. And for a live donation appeal, I love using that QR code or the short code for either text to donate or scan to donate, like I mentioned earlier. That can be a great way to make that ask in person and have people give on your campaign. We'll talk a little bit more after Q&A about some features to come, but anonymous attendee, I have some good news for you. We do have coming this fall a live display option being released very soon that will allow you to even more seamlessly project your goal up onto the screen. So that's super exciting. More to come there. Hi, Janet. I'm so glad that you are the no longer anonymous attendee. All right. Sarah says, Sarah's wondering, will people who get private items or the link to private items, will they be able to see public items in the same auction? Answer is yes. So if you had an auction that you only wanted to be available to a certain group of people and you didn't want them to see other auction items, you would maybe have two auctions running simultaneously at two separate links. But if you've sent somebody a private link, they will be able to see all other auction items that are public as well. Craig is wondering, is there a way to send auction registration info of people who have already purchased tickets to an event via Givebutter? Yes, absolutely. So using our engage functionality, you can really easily filter by ticket purchasers to a specific campaign. You can also drill down to particular ticket types, and you'll be able to send out that email to that group, inviting them to register for the auction. Great question, Craig. Kelly is wondering if there's a place to include a photo of each item. Absolutely. You can add multiple photos for each item. And I'll share my screen again just so that everybody can see what that looks like. Yep. So right here, you'll be able to add multiple pictures that people can scroll through. Pam is wondering how you ban a bidder. Great question. In the bidders tab, you click these three dots and go ahead and ban them. Great question, Pam. Key is wondering, where can we see the total dollar amount for all the bids? The total amount for all bids isn't going to be available, but as people win auction items and fulfill that payment, that will automatically be added to your campaign's goal bar. So that will go up in real time as people purchase their auction items. Great question. Okay. Somebody's wondering if we can hide the retail or market value from the bidder. If you have entered the retail or market value, that will be shown on the page here. So you'll see that retail value. If you would prefer for it to be hidden, what I would recommend is not including it when you set up your item in that space. That way, that is not shown, but you can include it in the fulfillment details for that item. And those fulfillment details are only sent to the winner of that item. So if they need to know that fair market value or retail value for the item for tax deductibility, you can put that information in the fulfillment details. Clay is wondering if payment method is a required field when registering as a bidder. Yes, it is. We want to make sure that you have a way to actually get those items paid for. This really is going to help you prevent spam or people who don't intend to actually pay for their items that they won. So yes, payment method is a required field when registering as a bidder. Medulla is wondering, when an item is set to saved, what does it mean? Is it still available to other bidders? Yes, absolutely. So when you have saved an item, that's basically a way for me to find like my favorites quickly again without having to search for each one. So you can press those hearts and be able to find those items again. I think that's a really great way, as you are going through the whole auction, you can be marking off what you're interested in and then head over to that Save tab to start placing your bids once you've seen what all is available to you. Craig is wondering if bidders will automatically be notified if they're outbid. Yes, currently that happens by email, and soon to come, that will happen by text message or SMS as well. Somebody is wondering if you can adjust the quantity of an item that's available. Yes, you can. You can set quantities for buy now items and say how many of those are available. If you have multiple of a particular item to auction off, currently you'll want to set that up as separate items. Carl is wondering if a Givebutter user with editor access can create and manage an auction. Yes, they can, absolutely. Editors on Givebutter are one of the 2 levels of access for users within your Givebutter dashboard, and editors cannot access the Payouts tab or add or remove other editors or admins, but they will be able to create and manage an auction for you. John is wondering if you can automatically have auction winners cover the processing fees. Yes, absolutely. You can choose to require all auction winners to cover the processing fees. Absolutely. Okay, George is wondering, it's 5% for auction autopay for both pages and events. Yes, that's correct. Specifically, if you're using auctions, donations onto that page would still be the 3% platform fee if you have the option to tip turned off. Laura is wondering if it's 5% of total funds raised through the auction or per item. It is per item, but those should be basically the same thing as well. Clay is wondering, can we accept payment for winning bids offline like cash or check? At this time, we don't support that. If you want to accept cash or check for winning bids, you know, that's up to you, but there is no way to mark that in Givebutter at this time. Jennifer's wondering if she has to decide when setting up the auction, if she'll use autopay or invoices, and can she switch to autopay or manually charge people at the end if she realizes people aren't responding to invoices? That's a really good question, Jennifer. So when you set up the auction, you can choose if you want to use autopay or invoices, and you can switch between those, you know, up until your auction end time, basically. So you're not locked into one way or the other. But if you do find that people are not responding to those invoices or those payment requests, then in the winning bids tab, you can come in here and charge that bidder directly. So if somebody is not responding, you can make sure that that is paid for. That's another reason that we do require people to give those payment details when they register as a bidder. So absolutely, you can make sure to get that payment whether or not they respond to the invoices. George is asking, so are items made public or private, item by item? And if multiple are private, will all private items be seen by folks with the link? That's a good question. Folks with the link will only be able to see that one private item, which is great because then you can send, you know, specific links to only specific people. If there are, you know, multiple groups of private items, maybe you want to give them access to some and not others. If you wanted somebody to have access to all of the private items, you could just include multiple links in that message to them. Okay. Sidnitra says, will I have to add multiples of the same item as separate listings? No, if it's a buy now item or has a buy now option. Yes, if it's an auction, since the bidding would need to happen on that separately. I do know we have a feature request for basically like, you know, if you had 3 of the same item, it would go to the top 3 bidders. That's something that our team could consider working on in the future. Not currently available, but I think it could be really cool. Is it possible to add tickets or attendees from the admin side? Yes, absolutely. You can always add tickets or attendees either as an offline donation or if you have their payment details, you can do that. Kia is wondering if the receipt to the bidder shows how much is considered a donation. Givebutter does not give tax advice, so we are not going to, list any of that information since we don't know, what the tax status of your organization is. However, it will have that fair market value listed if you had listed that in that field or in the fulfillment details. So you get to tell them how much of that is considered a donation. Totally up to you guys. Jessica's wondering, does the 5% fee apply to all auctions with Autopay turned on? Yes, the 5% platform fee applies to auctions that have Autopay turned on, specifically because they don't have an option to leave Givebutter a tip if they'd like to, since they're automatically paying. So that 5% fee would apply. George is wondering, I mentioned that you can hide the item value, but have it go with the fulfillment info in your items tab. Here we go. If I come over here and want to edit this, I can not put an item value here. So you can see that's optional, and instead put that in the fulfillment details. Yeah, good question. Hannah's wondering if there's an option to have couples that want to bid together share a bidder number. That's a good question, Hannah. Right now, if a couple wanted to bid together, what I would recommend them do is really bid together. So have one person in the couple sign up as that bidder and then go ahead and bid together. Again, they would share a payment method there as well. Louisa is wondering what happens when the winner bidder doesn't pay. If somebody doesn't pay based on that payment request quickly, we will send up to 3 reminders. And then after that, it would be marked unfulfillable. If you'd like to ask the next highest bidder to pay for that, you could certainly do that offline. I know we do have a feature request to automatically send a winning notification to the next highest bidder. That's not a part of the V1 right now, but I think it could be really great. Somebody's asking if a bidder can remain anonymous. Yes, they can check off that they would like to be anonymous when they register as a bidder, and then their name won't be shown here on the bid history. You can see this anonymous bid right here. Again, your bidder information will always be available to you on the back end. So no worries, we are always going to give that to you, but they won't be public here. Madula's wondering if Givebutter can manage an auction for the nonprofit and what would be the charges. Givebutter offers the platform to host your auction, but at this time, we won't run an auction for you. So it is up to you to find the items, to list them here. That said, our team is always available to you. Should you need help, please feel free to reach out via the chat widget of your dashboard or give us a call. Happy to help. For any nonprofit who signs up, you will be invited by me to sign up for a welcome call with a member of our success team, so we can really talk through that campaign setup together as well. So you're not doing it alone, but we can't do it 100% for you. Someone's asking if there is a feature to sell tickets to folks that don't want to bid but would like to attend the event. Yes, absolutely. Your auction can be added to an events campaign. And so, let's see. So they would have the option to purchase that ticket separately from registering as a bidder. Great question. All right, so looks like that was all of our Q&A questions. I'm gonna slide through the chat really quick and just make sure that I haven't missed anything. Tony is wondering if a video can be added to the item information sheet. Not right now. I love that idea. I know it's a feature request, so definitely chat into our support team and get them to upvote that for you. I think it would be awesome. you can, they can put a link to a video in the item description if you like have a video on YouTube or something. I think that would be really cool. Fallon's wondering if we intend to add a paddle raise capability. Maybe. Definitely upvote the feature request. Again, please chat into our support team and they can get you upvoted on that. The difficulty with the paddle raise functionality is, it happens so quickly, being able to really, mark off those bids in real time. But, never say never. Let's see. Okay. All right. So last things, thank you for everyone who has stuck around until the very end. So glad that you're all here. I have 2 really exciting things. First one is soon to come this fall is that live display that I mentioned earlier. That will be a way to display your goal bar, donations coming in up on a screen at your live event. I think it's going to be so cool and so engaging. We do also have that mobile app coming soon, and that is going to be connected with an option for a card reader. So for those in-person events, being able to even easier check people in, take that payment with that card reader. So excited. And then also registration fundraising. That is kind of a new take on our peer-to-peer functionality, basically requiring somebody to purchase a registration in order to become a team member. I think that's going to be great for runs and walks, but there's lots of other ways that can be used as well. So thank you for staying till the end for some of those sneak peeks. And very last one is an announcement about Givebutter Gives Back. This Giving Tuesday, Givebutter is giving back $50,000 to nonprofits. So absolutely get started on your Giving Tuesday campaigns. Again, a link to learn more and apply is going to be included in that slide deck that we'll be sending out to you. So can't wait to see your fundraising success for Giving Tuesday, whether that is with auctions or otherwise. And please feel free to sign up for your Givebutter account whenever you like. It is free. There are no subscriptions, no startup costs. So can't wait to see you fundraise for your wonderful causes. Thank you all so much. It was such a pleasure to chat with you all today. I am so thrilled about this new auction functionality. And I can't wait to see how many funds you guys are able to raise. Have a great day, Changemakers.